Capricorn, this is your no contact reading. Currently in a period of separation with your person, and we're going to get your energy, their energy, what they feel the challenge was in the relationship, how you feel the challenge is in the relationship, and some advice from spirit. All right, please remember that this is YouTube tarot, so this is not predictive. This is just confirmation for things you already know. Use your discernment. All right, Capricorn, your current energy, the Knight of Wands, Four of Wands, and the Knight of Swords. All right, we're going to get further clarification. The Star, the Four of Cups, the Ace of Wands. Okay, so what it feels like to me is that the you had been hoping for maybe something a little more serious, I think, and you did express this to this person. You feel like what you had originally hoped, that this was going to be just you're just kind of, it just didn't end up being, it didn't end up being as emotionally fulfilling as you had hoped for. It might have been exciting with this Ace of Wands. Like there was an excitement to it. There's parts about it that are really good. I feel like your energy is saying like it's you wanted it kind of geared towards a more long term or stable or something just a little more. I get this energy of like wanting to settle down, right? Yeah, wanting to settle down. It's almost like the passion part of it, the excitement, the impulsivity of it was like great in the beginning, and you're very much, the attraction is still there. But there's something that you're finding that's just not, it's just not as fulfilling. It's just not as fulfilling. There's a part of it that you kind of wanted a more like stable, settled down type of. That's the energy that I'm picking up on. Okay, now your person's energy, the King of Swords, the Knight of Cups, the Seven of Wands, the Two of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, the Magician. So your person's energy is coming across like, yeah, they heard you. They heard you when you said that, right? They feel, their energy feels like it's, they're very more in the like infatuation stage, like the honeymoon stage, like the pink cloud type of. They, I mean, and oh, they almost feel like they're not sure whether they want like as heart-centered, committed to as what you're looking for. Are you looking to get married? Like I'm getting this very mild undertone of I'm ready to kind of be married and to settle down and to, and this person is like, I don't really know if I'm like fully invested like that yet. Like I kind of feel like I'm totally in love with you, or I totally love you. I I know that I'm in love with you. I don't know if I'm like uber committed to being fully in love with you. Does that make sense? All right, we're gonna have to kind of wrap this up because I do have a previous engagement in about 6 minutes. Okay, Um, your energy, I'm sorry, what you saw as the challenge to the relationship, there's that Four of Cups again, strength, and the moon. So this is exactly the energy that I was picking up on. Like you saw the challenge as being I'm dissatisfied. And if I'm honest with myself, if I'm honest with what I want, like if I'm genuinely stepping out of the moon energy and standing in my power and saying, no, like this is what I want and this is what I expect. There's you are disheartened, disgruntled, dissatisfied in this current relationship because it's not fulfilling everything that you wanted. And I believe that that has something to do with marriage. Four of Swords, the Eight of Swords, and the Three of Swords. This is a lot of up in your head energy. It almost feels like it's commitment that you want, but it's commitment in an effort to, like, a promise not to be hurt again. Like you've experienced hurt in the past. Your person, what they saw the struggle with, the challenge in the relationship as they saw it, is exactly the polar opposite. Okay, and it's in line exactly with what they brought in as their energy. You have the same thing here. You have the Knight of Cups and the Seven of Wands. Knight of Cups and the Seven of Wands. Like they're bringing in this offer of love, this infatuation, this I'm falling in love with you. Like I'm not like crazy in love. Like I'm not like head over heels. This is my soulmate, my forever and always right at this moment. But I'm offering this um gentle like aspect of love here. Like I'm coming in like that and I understand, and they're kind of reflecting this for you here. Like I know what your ultimate hopes and dreams are. Like I understand that you fear this in and out energy. I understand that you've experienced this heartache with this Eight of Swords here. Like I get that that's in your fear, but I feel like they said the conflict was almost being pushed into this commitment that they weren't quite, they're just not there yet. All right. And what you think will help, damn it, Capricorn, if this didn't come up from your energy, what you believe will save this relationship or move it back into a period of contact would be having those that hopes and dreams, like being able to get that here, right? But look where it's coming from. It's coming from fear of loss and regret and sorrow, and not acknowledging that this is playing a role in your need or your desire to have this idea fulfilled. And what your person feels will help this situation. I think this is more actually for them finding the strength to communicate that they're just not ready, that they want to cultivate this a little longer. They So the Queen of Wands, this is a person that goes after what they want. You know, they're secure, they're sexy, they express that in an outward way. They do not worry what anybody else thinks about how they feel about a particular thing. And this is almost like your person is saying, like, I want to express this to you that I simply just need time to cultivate the feelings that will lead to like a forever type of relationship. Let's get some advice from Spirit. Advice, please, Spirit. The Wheel of Fortune, the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Wands. So you have two timing cards followed by or surrounding an Eight of Cups energy. I feel like this is a choice. Yeah, with the Fool clarifying. This is almost like you can wait for the divine timing to come around, right? You could wait for your person to come around. You have a choice to walk away for something a little bit better, or you can use that momentum to start something new here at a different pace. Great. Sorry about that. 11:11 on the clock. I just had a quick telephone conference that I had to get into. Okay, so what I did notice while I was kind of like refreshing, getting back into this energy, this Eight of Wands and this wild momentum that came with Spirit's advice is actually usually the Eight of Wands is moving to the right, kind of moving towards the future. This momentum is actually to the left in this particular deck. And I think that's interesting. The Fool is also blindfolded here. So I think that and I'm getting chills as I'm saying this, but I think that the advice here is to, without abandoning your dreams, because the Eight of Cups here is about abandoning dreams, um, seeing how this plays out without stopping any momentum that you have for the future, stopping any, you know, um, it's almost like allowing it to be what it is, maybe with no insistence on how you feel it should be or what it should look like. I am getting, and I'm going to pull some shadow cards only because they're the problematic or what you see as the conflict in this particular arrangement that you guys had. It has an undertone of unhealed previous heartache from your perspective. And it almost feels like trying to lock down or solidify something in an effort to shield yourself from further heartache or reliving one of those past events. So we're just going to get some possible shadow aspects could be being illuminated particular in this particular relationship. All right, Spirit, if you could just guide the viewer as to things they might not be aware of that might be asking for some attention. All right, so we have the stubborn shadow and the detached shadow. Don't get hung up on the names. So, this stubborn shadow is saying that you are fixed or set in a purpose or an opinion with a refusal to change, being difficult or inflexible. And it says, don't let your stubbornness get in the way of meaningful progress. Know when to stand firm and know when to let it go. And then detached shadow is being disconnected or disengaged from feelings, isolated, cold, too illogical, harsh, and distant. I don't feel that this is entirely accurate. I think that this is more like there's a part of you that is not taking into consideration this insistence on it needing to be a certain way or look a certain way in order for you to feel safe. And then guarded shadow, closed off or not trusting, shut down, guarded heart, trust issues. Your efforts to protect yourself is what's blocking you from the very thing you want most. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. This is exactly the energy that I'm kind of feeling here. So, with that coming out onto the table, I feel that this is an excellent time for you to actually sit in what is hidden within you as it relates to maybe incomplete healing or being caught up in your mind about things that have happened in the past and how it's possible for the person that I'm reading for, it's possible that you are looking to have a um what you're calling a more concrete commitment. um it feels like you are doing this in an effort to protect yourself or shield yourself from potential loss and heartache. Okay, just food for thought, just something to kind of think about. All right, the last card that we're going to pull on this is going to be from Raven Relics. It is the Codex of Questions. That's a good one. If someone you love was in the situation you're in, what would you want for them, or what advice would you give them? Take the entire table into consideration when you consider this question within yourself. I think this is a really good place to leave off. Okay, Capricorn, you are unconditionally loved and supported by the universe. So is your person. My unconditional love to you as well. Until next time, take care of yourself.